us for many years at WisePause. And she is a functional medicine practitioner. I'm really fascinated with this kind of work, and I know she's got a lot to say to us about simple solutions. We've heard a lot of really big conversations, and Julie's really good about breaking down to some simple things that we can all incorporate into our lives. Please welcome to the stage, Julie E. of Menopause.
All right, welcome. Thank you so much. This is, I think, my 10th year being here. My name is Julie E. I started my career when I was 16, working at fitness, working at a gym, teaching fitness, aerobics, rebound step, etc. And then I got my master's degree in nutrition and public health from the #2 school, tied with Harvard. And they told us that French fries were in the food pyramid, and all you needed was a Centrum to be healthy. I've already taken 30 supplements today. I don't know about anybody else, but a Centrum just doesn't do it. Especially in today's world, because we live in a toxic world with pollution in the sky, pollution everywhere, and the key to health is to keep your engine running, right? Your body is like a car. Every 3,000 miles, you get an oil change to your car. If you're 40, 50, or 60 and you've never given an oil change to this, well, no wonder why you're having so many problems and things are breaking down. This is my 39th year in practice. I have a clinic in Redondo Beach for 26 years. And in my 40s, I had the telomeres of a 12-year-old. That means I reversed my cellular age when I was 40 by 30 years to a 12-year-old. And then all my clients were improving and improving, and little things were starting to pop up and break down, and I started running some different tests and found out the house was killing me. The problem was the house. And right before I figured that out, I did run a saliva hormone test, and I had no hormones, zero. Everything was flatlined. So I could have gone on like, oh, I need all these hormone things, but I was thinking, I knew all these other little quirks were going on, what's going on? And so the thing that I figured out was an OAT test, OAT, organic acids, and the name of the test makes no sense. It should be called What the Heck is Going On with My Body test. Don't drink oat milk, but do an OAT test. So the OAT test, I had 18 elevated markers, and that led to me figuring out that the problem was the house. And I don't know if I was living in mold or carbon monoxide poisoning for 7 or 17 years, but that's the house I raised my son in. And thankfully, we do all these health things because he's actually 20 now, and he was never absent for a day of school his whole life for illness. And he'd also never been to a medical doctor. He did have cradle cap and some other things, so we were remediating from mold randomly. It was over here, it was over there. We never really saw it. It was all based on symptomology. So I know we're here talking about hormones, but if you want to keep your hormones healthy and balanced, you have to look at the whole picture. If I was just focused on hormones, I would have totally missed the boat, right? The problem was the house. I had to move out. I literally moved out overnight. Like I ran, I left the stuff there, and I found a furnished home, and I was like, I gotta get out of there. And then I processed through everything. They said it would take me 4 years to get rid of the mold. In this body, it took 1. And I was taking 130 supplements a day, and I was doing about 2 hours of light, ozone, mud therapy, and everything else under the sun to heal. But I did it really quickly. There's still a few little remnants and things, but that's what it takes to be healthy in today's world. I just want to make you know you're not crazy. So if the doctors tell you, I've heard this comment earlier today, the doctor's like, you're fine, or it's just your hormones, or it's all in your head, or lose a few pounds. Put them in the back seat. Take charge for yourself. You're the only person that lives in your body, and you're the only one that could really know if something's wrong. And trust your intuition. If the information you're being given doesn't feel like that's everything, find another practitioner. I mean, everyone should have a team. I have like 10 to 15 people that I see for all different aspects of health and life, right? You have your hairstylist, your facialist. Make sure you have like a team of like 10 to 15 different people that do something about health. That is what it has come to in our current toxic world, to stay feeling your absolute best. And so in all of my 39 years of practice and thousands of people that I've worked with, I have dialed it down to 3 simple steps to health. And I talk about those every single time I talk. I'm not going to go into super detail today because I want to give you other details. But the 3 simple steps are that you need to have a biofield, and the thing that destroys your biofield is your phone and your computer. We'll talk about that. The second step is you need to do a flushing of your oil, right? I call it your assembly line. You've heard the word detox 5 trillion times. Most detox programs are inefficient and incomplete. Your detox system in your body is your liver, gallbladder, kidneys, intestines, lymph, and there's a few intestines and there's 2 kidneys, stomach, pancreas, and spleen. That's 11 parts. There are 11 parts. So if you're doing a liver flush, what about the other 10? You know, most products for detoxing do not look at the lymph. Your lymph does not have a pump. You have to pump it. So it's really important to get the lymph flowing. There's not even a lymphatic doctor. Like, hello. There's lymphatic massages, but how many in here have ever had a lymphatic massage? Okay, about like 1/5 of the room. Well, everyone else, it's your turn. By the time this year ends, have 2. Okay, so this is how you keep your body running healthy. Stuff comes in through the air, through your nose, through your hair. How many products do we put here, right? Whatever happens to here is 20 times more likely to cause problems here. So dental health, 20% of your health. Drilling next to your brain, you think that's going to affect how you feel? It's a big deal. Metal fillings, you can't just get them taken out. You have to flush and detox your entire assembly line. So I call the detox system an assembly line because we all know how that works. When one guy doesn't show up for work, it backs everybody else up. So if you don't poop, something else is not going to work well. If you don't sleep, things are not working well. If you don't flush your lymphatic system, the problem could back all the way up to your liver. And so your liver gets 80,000 hits a day, and it's playing whack-a-mole all day, trying to keep you balanced. And your liver is like the size of this stage, right? Your liver is dealing with air and smog and red dye and pesticides and perfumes and things all day. And then it has to shove it through a little tube about the size of this to get it to your gallbladder. So it gets jammed. The gallbladder gets jammed so easily. And guess what, ladies? When the gallbladder is jammed, you feel bloated. You also have a hard time falling asleep. It's like a woman's problem right there. Everything below the belly button gets swollen. That's where your small intestine is, and it reflexes back up to your gallbladder and your liver. So you get the angry liver, the bloated and fearful gallbladder, or clogged other parts of your body. So that's step 2. The third simple step to health is your scars. Scars, traumas, tattoos, piercings, biopsy, dental implants, dental extractions, dental work. Every single one of those that you've had since you've been born is the cause of all of your health problems today. Not all of them, but that's how we assess. We have to go through the entire list. First, we gotta get you a biofield, then we gotta get your detox organs working well, and then we can start working on your scars. And so we're gonna talk about all of that today in short, and I'm gonna give you some other more take-home tidbits. But first, we're all gonna stand up. Everybody up. Okay, so I have about 4 simple solutions that work to make you feel better instantly. And that's what we're going to do first, is one of my signature ones, as we've called it. So it's called tapping and swiping. You're going to take your 4 fingers on top of your head, and first of all, spread out, and make sure there's no one directly in front of you, because we're going to release toxins in our breath, and the person in front of you doesn't want that. So, or you can move up. Oh, there it is. Okay, so you're going to keep going as I'm talking, and pretend like you're filling in between the lines, like when you were a kid and you're coloring. Keep going all the way down. We're going to do this in 2 minutes because we don't have enough time, and I'm going to get kicked off the stage. I have other things to say. So you're going to do the neck, you're going to do the chest, and you're breathing out. Like release the stress. Toxins. All the way, the girls, around the girls, everyone's like, oh my God, I'm talking, doing things. I have this Instead of a rope that I'm supposed to wear, I have a microphone holding my shirt together with that. Okay, keep going down, all the way to your pubic bone. And then when we get to the back, I like to use my fist and my knuckles. So we're gonna hit on our upper back, and I'm gonna knock the microphone out. Upper back, hit it. Breathe. This is how we work out our muscle, our organs rather. You go to the gym to work out your muscles, now you're gonna go to your low back, your kidneys, then you're gonna go into your hips. This is the modern age breast self-exam. Forget about the boobs. That's only one part of your body. This is your whole body. Now we're going to go to the groins. When you tap and swipe, what we're going to do now, you find tender spots. Everyone tells me. Now we're going to go to the armpits. This is the lymphatic. There's the front, the middle, and the back of the armpit. Make sure you get all of it, and you're breathing. How come I don't hear any of it? Like toxic people from work, that perfume that you wore, that soap from the dispenser, whatever. Get it out, okay? And after you do the armpits, you do the groins, and then just hang out and just breathe for a second. So that alone already makes people feel kind of lightheaded. We're moving things around. Yes, we're feeling sexy. And now take your left hand, put it on your right shoulder, and swipe sand off of your arm. All 360 degrees. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Only to one side, only to one side. If your fingers or your wrists hurt, do like the massage thing where you do each one. Have her breathing out, you shaking out, and then rest your hands at your side for a second and notice the difference in your two arms. This is the subtle energy body. Do we feel the difference in the two sides? Right? Long and soft and like a brick and tight. Okay, so do the other side. So get in there, and then we're going to do the legs. Breathing out. So I'm often asked, what should I take to feel better? And I'm like, I don't, there's like 5,000 things that can answer that with, but you can do this. Every single person on the planet can do this. Wait till you do your young child, and then they come over and do your arm. Heaven. Yeah, so then now you're going to go to your kidneys, your low back, and you're going to swipe down your legs. So the kidneys run the line down the whole entire back of the leg, so if your hamstring's tight, it might be a kidney thing. And then you're going to swipe the inside. I can't really get inside my skirt without flashing you, so I'll pretend just a little bit, all the way. And then you, if you were doing this at home, you're going to do the foot, right? You make sure you get the whole thing and foot. And then when you're all done, shake it out, just breathe for a second, take a deep breath, and then shout out how you feel.
Great.
All right. Okay, every day you like to brush your teeth, you do this twice a day. All right? So I didn't start my presentation yet. We're going to start now. Okay, I can figure this out. Okay, which way does this go?
Yeah. Okay, what is the most important thing for balance? Everything I said today so far. Everything. You need a biofield. You need to make sure you're pooping, sweating, all. We pee, poop, sweat, and exhale out toxins. Your liver makes your hormones. So if your liver's not working well, how can you make hormones? If the rest of your assembly line is not working well, how can you have balanced hormones? And this is just an example of three people, like any three of you out here, who are all the same age, same category of life. Three totally, completely different reasons for hot flashes. So what works for your friend is not necessarily what's going to work for you. So make sure you don't just do what your friend says. And this is just an example of all the dominoes. I talked about you have to get injury. Oops. Well, let's see if I can go back. I don't know how to do this. I did an injury or a trauma, and like, let's just be realistic here. Who in this room that has a child did not get stitches from delivering that child? Raise your hand. One person. Two, three, four. No tears, no stitches. So 4 people out of like 250, that's more than I've seen in my clinic. Okay, so delivering a baby, stitches, C-section, I mean, it's abdominal surgery. And then you're nursing, you're not sleeping, you're not eating, you're exhausted, you're stressed out of your mind. You don't recover from that. And then there's scar tissue, and your body's trying to heal. So you end up with deficiency in nutrients. You might get inflammation, there's toxicity, you start to feel weak, and then your hormones don't work. So if you're just dealing with the hormones, as big of a deal as it is, and everything everyone said today is true, that's not where you start. You might do hormones because that's a band-aid that'll make you feel better, but that's not really the starting place. Okay, so simple health solutions. That's what I'm good at. And I can talk peptides and bioregulators and all the science and all the cancer treatments and stuff, but that doesn't help you because I can talk it and explain it, but I'm going to break it down into some simple things. And as simple as I talk, don't overlook it. That's the problem. People are like, oh yeah, I forgot to tap the swipe. I stopped doing that. Doesn't that make you feel amazing? Why would you do that? Energy is always in motion. Or why wouldn't you do it? Energy is always in motion. Where there's no energy, your body builds a garbage can. That energy becomes, that part of your body, that C-section, becomes depolarized. And then energy has to make a detour around it. So your circulation makes a detour around it. And where is this? Small intestine, large intestine, uterus, and ovaries. Hello? And then it's like right in front of your back where your back might hurt. If you don't have EMF remediation on your phone is killing you. Start there. EMF remediation on all your devices, blue light blocking shield. Who likes having melatonin and sleeping through the night? Nobody. Interesting. Okay, well then don't put a blue screen on your phone. If you like melatonin, put a blue screen on your phone. And if you're smart enough like to have a child like mine, they can click it and make it get dark at night. All of the rest of this is pretty obvious. I think everyone's talked about some of these things today, but the number one health destroyer is not having a sticker on your phone. When I take my phone with the EMF remediation on it and I put it on your head, it turns on every chakra, organ, gland, meridian channel in your body. Not everyone can say that, and the companies that have the stickers with the biggest budgets on Instagram don't work. I've tried them all. Okay, if you're not pooping, I already told you, assembly line. Good posture was already mentioned. If you're like this, or you look at your phone like this, how do you think your organs are going to work? You can't digest your food like this. And your nervous system doesn't work when your neck is over here. So the signal doesn't go from the tail to your head. So we really need to have good posture. And sleep is super important to detox mold. It's like 10 to 12 hours a night. But if you can't sleep until you figure out why, it's not because you need a sleep vitamin. It's because one of your organs is waking you up in the middle of the night or more. Okay? So what we need is 5 hours of head pillow contact. If you're lying awake, just stay. Do not lift your head. There are 5 glands in your head, and they will reset if you stay down for 5 hours. Heat, light, frequency, and vibration. Nikola Tesla said that many years ago. That's what we used to feel. Silent suffering. And by the way, the math counts as a vibration. Whole body vibration or, sectional vibration. It still helps your body heal. These are some things you could do because these days most people are taking health into their own hands, as I suggest. But make sure you have all the pieces. Don't miss any pieces. Sometimes people call me the missing links person or the missing pieces person. All the doctors look at all these big things, but they forget about the little things, like the sticker on your phone. Almost 99.9% of people I see that have been to 10 other functional medicine doctors have never been told to put EMF remediation on their phone. And then I talk about a lot of LASIK surgery, like thinking about all the scars that we've had. You're wondering why your eyes are not so good when you're 60. Well, hello, did you get LASIK and they cut your eyes? So we have to look at all the different aspects of our body. And these are all the things that tapping and swiping and all the nutritional pieces that I talk about will actually work on. But if your liver is not working, there's at least 8 reasons why. You could have parasites, you could have a bacteria, you could have a virus, a nutrient deficiency. So treating your liver and thinking, oh, I'm fine now, I took the vitamins, that may not work forever. Now that you have the vitamins, your body is able to get rid of toxins or bacteria or infection. So you really have to look at the whole picture. You need to have a stepwise approach, and I heard everyone talking about gut health today. Check your pH, figure out which part of the assembly line is not working, hydrate, good fats. Super, super, super important. Most people don't eat enough good fats. Lab tests are expensive, so do one every 4 months, and that way you get through. You get your oat test, you get your hormone test, you get your gut test, and that way you can afford it. Because if we run them all at the same time, you would need like 120 supplements a day to deal with all of it anyway. It's overwhelming. Mitochondria test is hot new topic. If you don't feel good, it could be your mitochondria, but to do that test, like just eat more oil. I have 3 different oils you can sample down there. I'm going to skip over. These are just samples of what gut test looks like. The other one was a cortisol test. I've heard all of that talked about today. Inflammaging. If you have inflammation, you are aging way too fast. I have an inflammation test back there. The key to decreasing inflammation is to eat more good fats. Your cells your cells are supposed to be like this, a perfect circle, and the cell wall is made up of fat. If you want to absorb nutrients and get rid of toxins, eat more good fats. So we eat more oil. So eat more oil. You want your cell walls to be happy and healthy, and there are two cell walls in the mitochondria. So if you want to have energy for the rest of your life, eat more good fats or take them in a capsule. I like eating them in your diet because it's then you have to eat less food because it's filling. Precise custom health program is what we all need. We always need support for your detox system. Don't ever stop taking that. If you do it once a week, a month, that's fine. One day a week. And you also need to always be working on these things on the right. Scars. There, we have a new treatment in my clinic. We've been doing mud therapy forever. I have courses on my website. You can learn all that. But we have a new treatment called scar release technique. This thing is so easy. Talk about simple solutions. It's like a microcurrent that we put into your scar. It takes about 15 minutes. And what we have found is that 83% of people have instant relief in 15 minutes in their neck, shoulders, and back. C-section causes neck pain, back pain, and shoulder pain, and down the legs, feet things, all kinds of stuff. It's been there 30 years, 50 years, 70 years. It doesn't matter. You get one treatment, it's so much better. And I talk about scars all the time. Besides tapping and swiping, we're going to finish on body talk and you can twist and breathe. I have all these videos on my website or my social media. So if you feel safe, close your eyes, put your feet on the ground, take one deep breath, and say, now I'm healthy. Now I can do whatever it takes to be healthy. Now I love myself. Now I am so in love with myself that I'm willing to do whatever it takes to heal. All right.
We have a special presentation we want to make to Julie because she has been here for 10 of the 10 women. Hey. Denise has a little thank you that she'd like to get to you. Denise, where are you? But Julie, you've been amazing about supporting this effort and helping women, sharing your knowledge, sharing your heart, sharing your beautiful spirit. That's a big thing. And for doing it for a decade, we thank you collectively. We want to say so Julie is the only speaker that we've had on stage for and virtual for every single WisePause. So yes. So thank you, Dan. Absolutely.